Okay, this is the last video on surface area as part of outcome M3, which deals with both surface area and volume. And we're going to look for one moment at one example of a composite object. Okay, so the one question we're going to look at is find the surface area of the following object. Now, a composite object just means that it is composed of more than one shape. There is more than one shape that is put together onto the same object. Okay, so we've got this kind of grain silo over here, and we're asked for the surface area of this object. Okay, in order to answer this question, I just simply have had to have done the previous videos and the previous exercises. And then from there, it's just a matter of kind of listing off all the different surfaces that there are. Well, let's see. First off, there's this base over here. Okay, the base circle. Okay, so the base is a circle. Its area can be found with the formula pi r squared. The radius is 9.2, so this is going to be pi times 9.2 squared. Okay, and we can calculate that. Give me one sec. Type it in my calculator. And I get 265. My writing is terrible. 265.9 inches squared. Okay, that's the base. Next, let's take a look at the top of the object. The top of the object is a half of a sphere. It's not a full sphere, it's just half of a sphere. Now we should remember the area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. This is only half of the outside of a sphere. So in fact, this hemisphere will be 4 times pi times 9.2 squared, but only half of that, so we'll divide by 2. Okay, so we can plug this into our calculator, and we get 531.8 inches squared. Okay, that's two of the areas. The last area is the lateral area of my cylinder. Well, that lateral area really is just a rectangle. The height of the rectangle is 24 inches, and the length of the rectangle, as we've seen on a previous video, can be found as the circumference of the circle. Essentially what I do is I take a pair of scissors and I cut my cylinder so as to roll it out and get this lateral area. I end up with a side length along the cut of 24, and I end up with a base which is the circumference. In this case, the circumference is 2 times pi times r, which is 9.2. Okay, for the area of the rectangle then, I simply take 24 and multiply it by 2 times pi times 9.2. Just type that into my calculator right now, and I get 1,387.3 inches squared. Okay, I've got three areas now that I can just simply add up. We have our first area of 265.9, our second area of 531.8, and our third area, the lateral area, is 1387.3. So we can simply add all three of these together. I'll just type that into my calculator. And I get a final total area of this composite object is 2185 inches squared. Boom, we're done. Okay, try out a few different examples that are out there from your textbook and from different handouts, but really all this is going to do is rely on the earlier lessons that you have for other objects.